Coming up on the county line, it's deer rifle season, but some prefer a bow and arrow.
And Christmas is a time for homemade treats, but not everyone is quite a gourmet chef. We take a look at a few local candy stores.
Speaking of Christmas, Luke and Stevie are decking the halls. Join our on-the-road team as they look for the perfect Christmas tree.
Plus, in Titantown sports, Justin Egley has his eggs of the week, and DJ Yoakley has his best of his how-tos. We're live.
We're local.
The county line starts now. A winter weather storm watch is in effect for the entire viewing area tonight, Thursday, December 8th. Up to 6 inches of snow are expected to blanket the area by tomorrow morning. Good evening and welcome to the County Line. I'm Mike Walensky.
And I'm Shannon McLean. You might have a pretty good shot with a bow and arrow on the ground, but could you do it from a horse? You might want to take some notes as the County Line takes you on an archery adventure on horseback.
People that have horses here can do the mounted archery training. What we do is we shoot from horseback. We use bows that are designed after the ancient bows, some centuries old. They're made out of modern materials, wood laminations and fiberglass back and belly. But they look like the old bows. They have sayas, which are levers that help bend the limb. You have to keep your eye on the target. You have 16 seconds to ride down a course which is about the length of a football field. The target's at the center, 9 meters to the left, and it's a three-face target. First third of the course you shoot an approach arrow. In the middle of the course, middle third, you shoot a right angle, and then in the last third of the course you turn around backwards and shoot a backwards shot. And this is at a gallop. You're sitting on the horse. The horse is galloping, a slow gallop or a canter.
Well, I've been riding horses since I was probably about 5, and I've always kind of liked bows and arrows, and my dad and I used to go bow hunting and stuff. And I've been training probably about a year for this, and been shooting for 10 months maybe off a horse. Cantering and shooting at the same time, it's more of a challenge and it's harder to do.
It takes a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of patience. So it's a great sport, it's a great challenge, and it's really a lot of fun.
Well, we all have our favorite Christmas carols that we listen to on our way to the shopping mall. But would you expect singing in a Fudge Factory? The prime outlets at Grove City are the home of a few candy makers who do a little more than just whistle while they work.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids of all ages, we're about to have a fun show here at the Fudgery. Step inside and receive a free, F-R-E-E, free fudge sample. After the show, step right this way.
We do this all day, every day. We make anywhere from 350 to 400 pounds of fudge each and every day here at the Fudgery.
Fudgery crew, what time?
We pour this out at 232 degrees. Let it set for just a few minutes in between the bars. And then we began turning the fudge.
Now, the other thing we like to do while we make fudge here, we like to sing songs.
Well, isn't fudge lovely? Isn't fudge wonderful? Isn't fudge tasty?
Step to the register. We need some customers. Step to the register and buy some fudge. Don't be a bum.
Brandon walked away. Don't you know I had it for the fudge vine? Not much longer. All right, what I'm doing now is called loafing the fudge. I'm making it look almost like a beautiful loaf of French bread. I was a natural hire for this job because I've been a loafer my entire life. And as soon as this is done, basically we'll just clean the table off and begin to serve. And there you have it, kids. That is 20 pounds of chocolate peanut butter fudge.
Well, you won't find singing at all candy stores. Daffins claims to be the world's largest candy store, and they celebrate Christmas in a very big way.
With the holiday shopping seasons winding down, you may think you might be running out of options, but trust me, we have plenty of options right down the road. Daffins Candy has been locally run and owned for over 30 years at its current location in Sharon. The store's popularity grew all from a family tradition.
Mr. Daffins' grandfather was in the candy business about 100 years ago, and he actually learned how to make candy from him. They actually grew up in Ohio, and he had a little ice cream candy store in Ohio. And then Mr. Daffin went away to the World War II, and when he came back in the late 40s, right around 49, I believe, they moved to, we actually had moved to Sharon, but then when he came back from the war in 49, he opened up his own candy store. And they added a store on, and they just kept building and adding on. And then in 1975, we moved here.
2 squares of the peanut.
What a store it is, selling milk, dark, and white chocolate as far as the eye can see.
A lot of chocolate. Very lot of chocolate. Yeah. It's if you can't find a gift in here for somebody, you're really hurting, because there's all kinds of stuff in here for everybody. Kids and grown-ups. And there's all assortments in here for every type of person that you know, from sports to honey to everything. kind of a wide variety.
Tried to do like a one-stop shopping center, because when you're coming in for a gift for a box of chocolate, we have a nice line of Hallmark greeting cards, because nothing goes better with a box of chocolate than a nice card. And then we have a nice selection of gifts, collectibles to add to your purchase. Chocolate is our main focus, and you know what we're all about too, but it's nice to be able to offer just about anything somebody would want.
And everyone must have a great visit, because people continue to come back. However, this young one is having a hard time deciding what he likes the most.
What do you like better, the cashews or the chocolate?
The chocolate.
Finding the perfect gift for somebody else, as well as finding a few of my own, is not very hard. However, paying off the credit card bill next month will be. In Daffins Candy, here in Sharon, I'm Bill Sadler, reporting for the County.
Whether they are real or artificial, decorating Christmas trees is a big family tradition. This week, Luke and Stevie show us how to spruce up the living room by finding the perfect Christmas tree.
Luke.
And I'm Stevie.
And we're on the road. This week on the road, we're at Ward's Christmas Tree Farm in Hickory Township,
where he's got 12 acres of Christmas trees.
Okay, I planted my first trees in 1983. And I have another little field up beyond the house there. And then we got to selling a lot of trees and decided to grow some over here. Some of the older folks that have that tradition in their background still like a real tree. What I do is I give them a piece of ribbon, and they'll take it out and tie it on the tree. And if somebody comes in and it's tradition, and they really want to get down on their knees and get under there and cut a tree off by hand, I say go for it. We cut probably 95% of the trees for the people. We'll take a chainsaw out, we run out with my four-wheeler and a wagon, cut the tree, and bring it back for them.
We're just warming up by the fire before we go pick out our Christmas tree.
Well, are you ready to go?
Only if I get to pick the tree.
I guess.
I have the ribbon, so what I say goes.
Found the perfect tree.
Well, it's Luke's perfect tree. It's not my favorite.
Well, we got the ribbon tied on, and now it's time to cut it down.
Sometimes the trees have a few dead needles or some leaves inside, and we'll shake it over there on the shaker, okay? And then we'll go over here to one of the wrappers and put a netting around it that kind of folds it in and makes it easier to handle.
Well, we got our Christmas tree loaded up, And Ward's Christmas Tree Farm is open from noon till dark on the weekdays and all day on the weekends.
And if you want to avoid walking around in the freezing cold while picking out your Christmas tree, you can come by when the weather's nice and tag your tree, and then come back later near Christmas to cut it down.
Well, we've got to go decorate our Christmas tree.
That's it for this week's On the Road.
We'll see you next time.
Happy holidays.
Well, let's take a short break from this Christmas celebration to check out this week's local headlines.
That's right. Amy Sassfi has this week's top stories on 88.9 on the County Line.
Titan Radio Digital 88.9 News brings you local news now.
Good evening. I'm Amy Sassfi with this week's 89 on the County Line. If you live in the New Wilmington Borough, expect a slight increase in your electric bill. A motion was passed at the borough meeting to raise prices anywhere from 11 to 13%. Mayor Wagner says this shouldn't cause a huge burden on residents. Also in the New Wilmington Borough, you might want to check to see if your house number is visible. The problem is that emergency vehicles are being dispatched and are not able to find their destination. Talks are pending to find violators that don't have clearly marked addresses. And in the state, residents could see an increase in penalties for leaving children unattended in vehicles. State Representative John Siptrop proposed a bill earlier this week to make it a separate crime for each child left alone in a vehicle. Students at the 14 state-owned universities are starting to head home for the holiday break, but when they come back, they may find a big difference in campus security. One state representative wants to see that all security guards carry guns in order to better protect the students. Former Pittsburgh Steeler Lynn Swann has taken a big step toward becoming a candidate for governor of Pennsylvania. He recently mailed 15,000 postcards to supporters saying he'll make a major announcement during a tour of the Commonwealth in January. That was your 89 on the County Line. Keep up to date every weekday. Tune in to Titan Radio, Digital 88.9 FM. More County Line is on the way.
If you have new shoes on your wish list for Santa Claus, you don't have to go all the way to the North Pole. Join the County Line's Catherine Larson as she gets her new kicks in Sharon.
It's every little girl's dream, swimming in a sea of shoes. Ryer's, the world's largest shoe store, stands tall in downtown Sharon. With more than 90 employees and thousands of shoes, Ryer's is always trying to stay on their toes.
Some women are happy with pointier toes, some women aren't. Some women want higher heels, some don't, but they all want comfort.
This is the home of the original Ryder Shoe store. Today it serves as their outlet. Ryer's didn't begin so grand. In fact, it was competing with 6 other shoe stores in the downtown Sharon area. It wasn't until much later that they actually moved into another store down the street that used to be the Giant Eagle.
The great thing about their current building, there's even more stacking room for the shoes.
Probably 75,000 pairs of women's shoes alone. But we're still the world's largest shoe store, right?
Ryer's is one of the last places that actually fit your shoe to see what you are. So what am I about? Okay, so I guess, hey, if the shoe fits, you should wear it. I'm Catherine Larson in Sharon for the County Line. I really like these. Cute. Before Christmas, Sharon residents are trying to win a little extra cash. The County Line's Jill Carl is hoping for a bingo at the North Sharon Volunteer Fire Department.
Ever since my kids were in high school, I stayed home and raised my children until they got in high school, and then I started playing bingo.
Della Baldinelli is one of the many people who come to the North Sharon Volunteer Fire Department to show their enthusiasm for bingo. And when I say enthusiasm, I mean they have a riot.
I got bingo! We tease the hell out of them.
And what's this bell for?
The caller calls B4. That's my number. Lucky number. Her number is B2. Some is B15. So when they call these numbers, we ring the bells. B15. That's mine.
So why do all of these people come here to play bingo?
They want money. If you get the coverall at the end of the night, then you get $500. They said that's just your lucky Irish. Yes, she does.
But some people aren't so lucky.
I'm going home. I'm going home.
But it's not all about the winning.
All of these people we've gotten to know, and they're like, one happy family.
In Mercer County, I'm Jill Carl for the County Line.
Well, Mike, in some states, bingo is a sport.
I'm not so sure about that, Shannon, but Justin Egley is here with this week's Titantown Sports.
Well, hey, thanks, guys. I'm not really sure if it's a sport or not. I'm not really too sure. Haven't found anywhere yet to go out and cover anything like that or any big tournaments. But hello, welcome to the last episode of Titantown Sports for the year. Don't cry, but I'm Justin Egley. Thanks for tuning in, as it's the best of the best show, starting off with swimming. Now, last week, Ryan Trunk went to qualify for the U.S. Open in the 100-meter freestyle at Auburn University. Trunk posted a preliminary time of 52.92 seconds that qualified for the C final, which is places from 17th to 24. He then finished 24th place overall with a time of 53.19 seconds. Trunk became just the second swimmer in Westminster swimming history to qualify for the U.S. Open. Now to the best of the women's soccer. Just today, Mallory Bugle and Brittany McKee were selected to the 2005 National Soccer Coaches Association of America in the Great Lakes All-Region. Bugle was selected on the first team, while McKee was selected on the second team. Bugle posted a team and pack high 21 goals and 50 points. Now, including Bugle also had 5 game-winning goals. McKee was the heart and soul of the Westminster defense, as they allowed just 17 goals in 23 contests this season. Now to probably the best men's basketball game of the year so far. Let's take a look at the final seconds of last night's game. Now, here's the situation. 33.6 seconds left on the clock. Westminster's down 98-96. And right now, Allegheny has the ball, and Westminster trying to look for a turnover. Allegheny trying to kill the clock, and there's the big turnover that we need. The big guy, number 44, that's Steve. Steve gives it to hand and goes straight down the court and does the layup, makes it in. 9 seconds left on the clock. That ties the game up at 98. And unfortunately, Casey Mikulski flies down the court, hits the layup, makes the score 100-98. Now Allegheny steals the ball off the Titans and holds on for the victory. The final score of that game, 100-98. Now Craig Hannon has a hot shot right now, and he's leading the Titan in points again. That time with 24. The Titans' next game will be on Saturday at 4 p.m. at Pitt Greensburg. Now for the ladies, they'll warm the court up for the guys, as they'll travel down with them to Pitt Greensburg and play at 2 p.m. Ladies are still looking for their first win, so hopefully they'll get it. Good luck to them. And as basketball, we'll start off this week's how-to. DJ compiled the best of this year's how-tos just for you, so let's take a look at those now.
Well, we'll start it off with me learning to shoot the three-pointer, and man, it's not as easy as Craig Hannon makes it look. Here's a soccer package where I try to block as many balls as I could, but just came up short. And now we're on to ping pong, where Katie Huber just drilled me right between the eyes. And of course, everybody's favorite, the swimming package, where I still don't know how to swim. It's game time. And now we're on to end zone celebrations, but, you know, I didn't score any touchdowns, but at least I learned how to dance.
Well, hey, thanks, DJ, for that. And we're going to now finish off the best with the best. It's my best eggs of the week. Let's crack into them now. Now off to number 6, as this is why I love college basketball. The mascots, you got to give it to him. Got to give it to the guy that's in that suit. I bet you he's just burning up in there. So number 6 goes to you, sir, or ma'am, whatever. Number 5 goes to Emily Ackerman. She had a great week, had a career high, and injured, so not so good for her, but you're still on my top 6. Number 4 goes to Teresa. Therese had a great game this week, 2 games. She had career high 16 shots with 9 rebounds, and then in the other game she had 8 rebounds. So number 4 goes to her. Now to number 3 goes to the big man, the freshman, Steve Billich. Steve had 7 block shots, 15 rebounds, and oh yeah, he gets it done on offense as well. He also had 15 points against Allegheny, and he just missed the triple-double. Now number 2 goes to last week's number 1 winner, Craig Hannon. Hannon with this is the last play of the drive for the Titans, goes down the court, makes a crucial layup to tie the game with 9 ticks on the clock, but it was not enough because number 1 is right here, and that is the last play of that game at Allegheny. Casey Mikalski puts up this amazing layup and gives his team the win with just seconds left on the clock. That has been my best eggs of the week. So that'll wrap up this week's edition of Titantown Sports. Please stay tuned as more County Line is on the way. Thanks for watching the show. We'll see you next semester and have a great, safe, happy holiday.
Can I help you, sir?
I found these over by the stairs.
Okay, thank you.
What are they?
Love handles. Lots of people lose them taking the stairs instead of the escalator.
Every week we return all our cans and bottles. Yeah, we hope to reduce the world's waste.
But aluminum? It's like gold.
There's a can. Where? Get it.
Environmental defense. Get green. For more tips, go to getgreen.com.
Come on, boy. Come on. What do you got there, Yogi? Huh? What do you found? What do you got, little fella? Drop it. Looks like someone's butt. Man, they probably lost it playing with their kids. Hey, leave it. Come on. Come on.
'Tis the season for holiday stress. And joining us tonight on the County Close-Up is Counselor Babs Quincey from Westminster College to tell us a little bit about how to keep your body in tip-top shape during this stressful holiday season. Well, let's begin with what are some of the symptoms of stress?
Well, I think that varies from individual to individual. And I think it's the first thing I think is very important is for people to know what they do. You should all know yourself well enough to know what your own particular signs are of stress. Some people feel it physically, and I think if we pay attention,
like anxiety?
we can, yeah. You know, you can feel it, stomach tightening, show up muscles tightening, that type of thing. But we also feel it emotionally. I think, worrying, crying, can't sleep at night, overeating, undereating, sometimes losing your appetite, becoming irritable, snapping at people, just becoming obsessive about this or that, very negative thinking usually. People get really hung up on the what-ifs. And oh my gosh, if I fail this test, la la la, that.
Do they have long-term effects? Does stress in general?
It can, absolutely, it can. That's why it's so important for you to take a proactive approach in your life, throughout your life, because life is stress, to doing things and changing your lifestyle so that you can prevent it. And usually what I see here is that I see people sort of when it's too late. You know, they're already like over the edge.
They're gone. They're gone.
Yeah, and so there are things though that people can do.
And that brings me to the point of, you know, what can we do for others that we see that are completely, you know, in the fits of stress?
Well, I think if somebody's in the fits of stress, the main thing to do is just be supportive of them and to calm them, be reassuring. Lots of times people don't need to be told what to do. Okay, it's more just
so
I understand, and you know, just you know, using your best active listening, kind of like communication with people, and just trying to calm them down and reassure them and saying, hey, it's going to be all right, helping them to keep it in perspective.
Exactly.
That's a big one.
And here's the thing, you know, men and women, I've noticed that men, you know, bottle up their emotions so much, and women are just, you know, they talk and they try to detox in that format. Tell us a little bit about what you've seen, the differences between men and women in there.
And you can't make the, you know, strict generalizations because it always kind of works both ways. But women do tend to internalize more their stress. They internalize it and hold it in, but they also
vocalize.
At the same time talk.
Sure.
You can go in a grocery line and talk to a complete stranger, and if she's stressed, she'll tell you her whole life story. You know, you'll never see her again. Women do that. Women are much more apt to seek help, you know, when they're stressed, depressed, whatever. But they do also kind of keep things inside so that they're more prone to things like depression and anxiety and stuff like that. Men tend to externalize. Men tend to be more aggressive, and you know, they'll throw their books or you know, do some kind of physical mannerism or acting out or whatever. But it's the same. I mean, both men and women need to know, what do you do?
Is there a certain age bracket that stress highlights or hits on?
I think college students. Lots of times college students don't know what stress is until they come to college. And then it's just, oh, wow, you know, this, and they really struggle. And they haven't really had to learn. Some of them have never learned it, but sometimes they never really had to learn good stress management techniques, you know, because they've never really felt the pressure.
Could you enlighten us on some good stress techniques? Because I know we all need to learn some.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm big on the proactive thing, not waiting until it's at a disaster or you're over the top or you have this complete meltdown or whatever. But you know, put that aside, I think the main thing to do is, A, keep it in perspective. You know, in 2 weeks, this isn't going to matter. A year from now, you won't even remember this test. And just, you know, in the whole big picture of your life, this is little.
Sure.
Okay. But at the same time, it's important right now because you got to get where you're going to go. Yeah. So perspective is one thing. Another thing is to be organized. Yeah. Just manage your time, do schedules, I mean, become anal, if you will, just for this period of time so that you can, you know, get through it. Next thing would be the whole breathing thing.
Sure, and you really want to...
I'm big on that.
Gotcha, definitely. So breathe and relax.
Slow, deep breathing.
Slow, deep breathing. Well, if you want to learn more about some recommended stress tips, click online to the American Institute of Stress at www.stress.org. Babs Quincey, thank you so much for being here with us.
Welcome.
Stay tuned for more County Line after this.
Well, that does it for tonight's County Line. We'll be back in January with your local news.
We sure will, and we're pleased to announce a few new additions to next year's anchor team. They include Catherine Larson, who you just saw in the interview segment there, Pam Marlowe, and Steve Brink. Plus, Shannon and I will be back, along with Elizabeth Ferry. We'll all be back next year.
That's right. I'm Shannon McLean. Please have a wonderful, very Merry Christmas.
And I'm Mike Walensky. Have a good night.